Well, I'm in the shop today, so as many people know, I do a specialty grind on my chains, and a lot of people say, yeah, okay, I could do that, but then, if I'm out in the field and I get a dull chain, I can't touch it up. Well, there is two different ways you can do it. One is you can take a file and you can grind an angle. I ground the bevel this way on this side and this way on the other side, which I'm sure you can maybe see that in the camera. So that works so that I can use it to file this side here, and then when I come from the other side, I use the opposite side of the file to sharpen it, touch it up. Or another thing to do is you could use a triangle file. This one actually is a little bit big, but I'd find a little bit smaller one than this. And then you can do the same thing of being able to get down in here and file it, because a triangular file matches the 60-degree angle of what I grind on there. So this would work, but this one is a little big. I do have a smaller one here somewhere. So this is another option of what you could do, of using files to be able to touch up a chain. So I'm gonna try to get the camera set up here really close. This chain is fairly sharp. I don't think I did much cutting with this one after I put it on. So, but I will get the camera set up down here, and I will do a little filing, and I'll touch it up. So basically, I would just use the file, just like you do a normal file, and you just follow that contour of that tooth, and then you go on to your next one and you keep going. So this is just going to show that you can use a file still to touch them up in the field. I don't know, I still find easier for myself just to just change the chain and keep right on going. But I just had, was thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, if I had to touch one up out in the field, this is probably what I would do to do it. Usually I never had the file with me. This one here I actually just ground out today, so because I didn't have one that would get down in there good. If I had a smaller triangular file, that would get down in there. But this one will work. I'll probably just throw this one in my box. That way I have it along next time I cut. Well, like I said, this chain was pretty sharp. Knock the file out every once in a while. As you get filings on the file, just knock it out once in a while, brush it off. Thing is, you could use this one and take the rakers down if you needed to as well. But if I were to use it to take the rakers down, I'd probably use the back side of the file, because that'll never get used for anything else. I got this set up here in a position that's pretty awkward for me. It's balancing on a drawer of my bench, and part of it's sitting on the table, just so I can get the camera in here and get a good view. But you just go at it and touch them up a little bit like that. Obviously, like I said, this chain was fairly sharp, didn't need much work anyways. Yes, I put gloves on so I didn't cut myself. This chain is really oily, so I would say that the biodegradable oil that I'm using is definitely doing its job. And that gets us back around to where I started. And, ooh, yeah, it's still good and sharp. Well, now I'll get it turned around and set the camera up again. So I did find one of my triangular files. Basically, you'd have the same getting in here. This chain's got a little bit more of a radius down in there. But you'd get in here and you'd file the same way with a triangle file to get it. This one is a little bit small. The other one's too big. So I'm just gonna use the file that I ground down for this. But it's kind of the same thing. Just get in there, work the top of the tooth and get it nice and sharp. And then I'll just, I missed one. I'm going to start gold links here. I'll start here and go around and just get it done. Same thing on this one. You work the tooth a little bit. Just sharpen it up, touch it up. Periodically knock the file out so that way there's not a bunch of filings in the file. Then again, I guess usually I don't let my chains get super dull before I usually sharpen them. Kind of helps too. I mean, granted, you do hit stuff occasionally, but usually if I hit something, I usually don't keep trying to chew my way through it. Then of course this is a 28-inch bar, so there's definitely a few teeth on this bar. Oop. Oh boy, tighten that up so I'm not digging the chain into the brand new saw vise. Don't want to ruin my saw vise. This probably isn't the board that it'll stay on. This just happened to be one I had in the shed here that I screwed it on quick so I could use it. I do have the intents of making myself a nice board to put it on. Then I'll take it with me when I go cutting. But when the chain is sharp, it doesn't take much to touch it up. A couple strokes. And get that edge cleaned up, squared up again. There we go. That gets us all the way around back to where we started. And they are cat claw sharp. That would, I could probably tear some skin off if I tried. Well, so there's my solution for how you could touch up my grind out in the field when you're actually out in the woods cutting, with nothing more than your board, your saw vise, and a file. This one would work, like I said, the bottom side of the file is flat, and that's where both bevels are pointed towards. So that side of the file will never actually be used for sharpening the tooth. So you could technically just use that to file the rakers down. The very edge of this, obviously there's no teeth on there, so if you file the rakers down, yeah, you'd still have to be careful that you didn't catch the tip of your tooth. But if you're going to take your rakers down, I usually always try to do that, before I sharpen, so that way if I do hit a tooth, it's not a big deal because I'm usually sharpening it up and cleaning it up anyways. So, but there's my solution for that. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.